Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is our old friend Humza Yousaf actually confirming that A, Gaza was a far better place before Hamas, and also he's blown the myth that people in Gaza under normal circumstances are actually refugees. He blows those two myths. So what's happened is Humza on his own Twitter feed has put out clippets of a podcast that he obviously recently recorded, where it appears that the reason for the podcast is we've all to feel sorry for the folk of Gaza. Now, I'll put my cards on the table. I feel sorry for all people that are held, caught up in the middle of war-torn places. It's not nice. We shouldn't be there. But what I'm not going to do is pick a side in this one, like everybody has to. Now, in this podcast, you'll see him going through photographs and showing you how wonderful pre-Hamas Gaza really was. So I broke it into a couple of sections and I'll look at them one by one. So let's have a wee look at this first section just now.
You know, this photo for me makes me quite sad, because you've got children here, the brothers, the sisters, some cousins, doing what kids do, making funny faces, laughing, and playing with their toys. How many children now are doing that in Gaza? How many children are able to smile in Gaza or play with their toys? So it makes me really sad when I look at that photo. And they're doing what normal families do, going for a big family meal.
It's like a different world, though.
Totally different world, completely smiling. And there's, of course, the beautiful coast and the beach in Gaza. Nadia's now 94, maybe 95-year-old grandmother with some of her grandchildren. There again, just a beautiful, normal family scene, and that's what people want in Gaza. They want normality as much as they can.
So there we go. We've seen some lovely photographs there, and a couple of things that just shouted out at me when I was watching it on my phone earlier. Beautiful, lovely beach restaurant. They're sitting having a lovely family meal. All happy, all safe, and a severe lack of face coverings for the females. Now, even if there was no war on in Gaza just now and the same family were going to the same place for a meal, I think the scene would look a bit different. So what he's shown us there is a safe, fun Gaza, pre-Hamas. This is Hamas that's in one election and never allowed another, about 20 years ago, maybe 15 to 20 years. So before they were involved, and by the way, Israel still existed at the time, right? Israel was still there, and these people were having lovely family get-togethers in really nice-looking beaches and beachfront restaurants. Looked lovely. And actually, when this thing kicked off, I remember Googling certain areas in Gaza, because we were told that the whole of Gaza is just like an open prison, basically. No, it wasn't. Beautiful place. Some of the shopping malls in the place were absolutely nicer than the ones I've got here. Nicer than the two local ones to me. Wasn't an open prison. And here's Humza's wife, I don't know what age she is now, late 30s, early 40s, so we're going back maybe 20, 25 years, so we're mid to late 90s in these photographs. Well, Israel was still there. Gaza was still there. Everything was the same geographically as it is just now. Only one difference. We've got Hamas now. So in the next video, you need to listen very carefully to what he says here. So please do.
What kind of meaning do these photos hold right now within your family?
Oh, they're everything. They're everything. They're clutching on to the hope, almost beyond hope, that they can one day return.
Go back.
Yeah, of course they want to go back. Look at these. This is, for my father-in-law in particular, this is home. But for them, there's so many beautiful memories that they created. Look at them on the beach, doing again what, I could take you 5 minutes from here to Broughty Ferry Beach. We've got a beautiful day in Dundee. and you would see kids thousands of miles away doing what kids do, jumping in the water, enjoying the water, the waves, the sun, and that's what they want to do. They want to go back to Gaza, and they want to return to see their family. And of course, the family who's from Gaza want to return. They don't want to be refugees. Who wants to be a refugee? Leave your home, leave your family. But that's what they're being forced to do, and that's why I think we must all continue to raise our voice, because Gaza has to be for the people of Gaza.
Did you hear it? They want to go back to their home because they do not want to be refugees. So what he's basically saying there is, when they're home, they are not refugees. That's got to be true, isn't it? If they feel they are refugees just now because they've had to flee their home because it's in the middle of a horrific war zone. Now, we get told by many people that these people are refugees when they are in Palestine, so in Gaza. But here's Humza Yousaf, with family in Gaza, or so we're led to believe. We're told that the brother-in-law is still in Gaza, but that was about 6 to 9 months ago, and they'd done a podcast with Humza recently where he didn't appear to be in Gaza. So, but they want to go back to their home. You know, his sister-in-law and the children were given safe passage to Turkey about 8, 9 months ago. And we don't know what's happened to her, because there was a thing where his wife was trying to get them back to Scotland, and we just kind of stopped hearing about that. I kind of get a funny feeling they are back in Scotland, because if they hadn't been, you can imagine Nadia would have been quite vocal about it. The fact that nobody's saying anything about it suggests to me they're not in Turkey anymore. And I don't think the brother's in Gaza anymore, although we were told that he refused to leave because he's such a brave man and wanted to look after sick people in hospital. However, what Humza's quite clearly saying here is they all want to return home so they'll no longer be refugees. Now, if you go and look at what nonsense UNRWA have been telling us for like 60 years, they're the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian refugees in the Near East. So they view them as refugees even when they're in Gaza. And that makes you think, well, where would they not be refugees? Where is home if Gaza's not their home? Like, it's impossible if you actually use the logic of UNRWA's even own description. But that's another question. That's a whole other topic. But it's heartening to understand that Humza, when the Gazians are in Gaza, does not view them as hostages. Sorry, as refugees. Another odd thing that happened, and I do this often, maybe once every couple of weeks. I'll have a look, because that's where I found this video, was on Humza's timeline on Twitter. And I often have a wee look when I see something of interest, and I look at his timeline and I look back maybe 10 or 12 tweets to see what he's talking about. Now, remind you, this guy is my MSP. He actually serves me at Holyrood. And in the last 12 tweets, and I only went back 12, so forgive me, it might be worse, he speaks about the Gaza-Israel conflict 10 times and talks about Islamophobia twice. I can't remember the last time I seen this guy in Holyrood, nor I remember the last time I heard him talk about his constituency, where I live, ever, in Holyrood. And that's his job. That's why he's paid currently 71,000. He was getting paid more when he was the First Minister, and he's already getting paid a pension on top of that because he's no longer the First Minister. So he's getting his pension and his 71 grand per year, and I think there's about 40 grand in his pension per year. So he's probably getting a six-figure sum to represent me and all the people round about me at Holyrood. And one, he's never there. And two, I never hear him talk about school closures, the state of the environment here, and talk about the aesthetics of it, the potholes, the crime, the overcrowding, the rats. He talks about Gaza and Islamophobia almost constantly. So thank you very much, Mr. Yousaf, for confirming two things that I've been saying for a long time. And that is, one, Gaza was a far better place without Hamas, and anybody that wants proper peace and return to those days, and where those photographs were evidently from probably mid to late 90s, if anybody wants to return to those times, for the people of Gaza, then they have to do that without Hamas. And thank you very much, Humza, for describing and explaining that when the people in Gaza are in Gaza, they are not refugees. They are only refugees when they are away from what they term their home. So it puts paid to all these fallacies driven by people who continue to support the UNRWA and their misinformation that the people in Gaza lived up until the 7th October when the war kicked off. They were living in an open prison as refugees. A lot of nonsense. So world, please wake up. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe button and notifications bell. And give me your comments below, please, what you think of the topic and the video. But the most important thing of all, unless you're Humza Yousaf, do it at the end. Unless you're Humza Yousaf and these people driving fallacies about, what's really going on in Gaza. Everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.
Must be a return, and it can't be just taken over by Israel and, frankly, ethnically cleansed.